So tell us, how much is negotiation part of invisible selling?
Negotiation is a big part of invisible selling, because once a person is attracted towards your product, if he is placing a large order, then he may want to negotiate, and you have plenty of other professions which involve negotiation. Almost every profession involves negotiation. So it is a part of invisible selling. It's a part of the influence process, of the persuasion process, and it's something that can use a lot of lessons from the psychology of compliance.
Okay.
At the same time, there are plenty of negotiation tactics. Number one, which are so old and which have been used so often that plenty of people know that you're using a certain kind of strategy, and that immediately builds up a lot of resistance. So there's been a lot of research, there has been a lot of brain research, and all that is a part of what I train on under the umbrella of invisible negotiation, which is a part of invisible selling ultimately. And I have learned from various sources. I have been trained by a gentleman called Richard Mallender. Richard Mallender is the ex-head of Scotland Yard hostage negotiation training. So that's very exciting, because to be trained by somebody who is negotiating at such a critical level where if his negotiation fails, he literally loses a hostage. And it's both exciting and very, very scary, negotiating with a hostage taker or a terrorist or a criminal. At the same time, the learnings are intense. And since these are very exciting stories, the stories tend to stick. And then you tend to remember the strategy, and then you tend to implement it. So it's very exciting to learn about negotiation from trainers and from hostage negotiators, from agencies like Scotland Yard. I'm also a huge fan of Chris Voss. Chris Voss is the ex-FBI head of negotiation, hostage negotiation. He's written a book called Never Split the Difference, and I have learned very, very hugely from him. I have conducted negotiation training, invisible negotiation training for multinational companies. So that's something that's a big part of my package. So one of the most counterintuitive things that I've learned is that you don't necessarily begin with yes. Okay, what the typical guys in negotiation are taught is that try to get a yes from the other party. And that's not very useful at all, because to get a person to say yes is a very, very difficult job. And yes puts a person in a corner. So you're going to distance him. You're going to build a lot of resistance, because people don't want to say yes, because yes is commitment. So it may be worthwhile to get a no from a client rather than a yes. In fact, Chris Voss learned this from one of his gurus, that's Jim Campion, who wrote a book called Starting with No. So it's totally counterintuitive. Just imagine I give a call to somebody and I say, is this a bad time to speak to you? Right? The chances are very high that he'll say no, because there are plenty of beneficial factors that are perceived by a person when he says no. One is, when I say no to somebody, I perceive myself as the authority. He's giving me the authority. He is respecting me. He's putting me above him. And it makes me feel good, and makes me feel that this person is a nice person. And it makes me feel more involved. I have gotten the conversation by saying no, rather than getting out of the conversation by saying no. So it makes the other person feel authoritative. It makes him feel comfortable.
This is a nice way of, making some cold calls also.
Yeah, and it's absolutely non-cliched, because there are plenty of people who've been so conditioned to trying to get yes from the other person that they really get down to asking stupid questions. For example, I've literally had this experience with some salesmen who ask you some really stupid questions like, are you trying to make your life better? or do you care about your family? They just trained by really stupid trainers to ask these questions where you wonder, I mean, what's going on with this guy? Why is he asking me such ridiculously simplistic questions? Is because he's trying to get yes from you, and he's going to say, so you care about your family? Yes. You care for your own well-being? Yes. Do you think this product is going to help you with the well-being of family? Well, you can say yes, but it doesn't mean they're going to buy the product, but then somehow he turns that around as if you made a commitment to buying his product. So that's a pretty manipulative, it's discomforting, and people are using it. So the minute somebody tries to use it, you immediately know there's something going on. They're trying to trap you, and you tend to not be in consonance with the other person. So it's much better to try to get a no from the other person. It's totally counterintuitive, but it really works very, very well, because once he said no, he's now in a clear space. He's got no tension. He's now really open to getting whatever message that you're sending him. So you really, in a way, begin a conversation well only after you've got a no, because he can hear you with a clear mind.
Wow. That was a no-brainer, but still.
To some people only. Most people, it's not really a no-brainer. So, are you too busy to see the next video?